Loudoun Castle, former coasters. Other ways of saying the theme park's name include Loudoun Castle, but in this video I'm going to say Loudoun Castle. Loudoun Castle was a small theme park located in Goulston, Scotland, UK. The park was built in the former grounds of Loudoun Castle, which had previously burnt down in a tragic fire. In 2011, the park was forced to shut down after declining visitor numbers. Over the years, the park had 11 roller coasters, which we'll be looking at today. At some point in the 1990s, Loudoun Castle installed their very first roller coaster. It went under the name Dragon. Very little is actually known about this coaster, apart from it was a Zamperla powered coaster. The coaster now travels around Ibiza under the name Super Raton. The roller coaster closed at some point in the 1990s. The second coaster to be installed at the park was a Schwarzkopf looping star called Thunderloop Express. The roller coaster went up to speeds of 48 miles per hour and also included a loop, hence the name Thunderloop Express. The ride opened up to the public in 1995 and closed down in 1998. The footage shown is the same roller coaster previously operating at Dreamland Margate in Kent. In 1999, 2 new coasters opened up to replace Thunderloop Express, one of which being a standard Cyclone coaster with the name Galaxy. This ride was manufactured by STC and had previously operated at Cadona's amusement park. The ride featured no inversions and had a classic red and white colour scheme. As well as Galaxy, the park opened up a simple Wacky Worm coaster with the name, you guessed it, Wacky Worm. The manufacturer for this ride is unknown. Both rides shut down in 2002 after the park was sold to a new investor. In the year 2000, Loudoun Castle installed a very unique roller coaster with again an unknown manufacturer. This ride was named Wild Mouse in German. The coaster was a thrilling wooden Wild Mouse experience which had previously operated at a defunct German theme park. This ride was demolished just 1 year after opening to make room for a new roller coaster. In 2001, a new kiddie coaster opened up, making it the smallest coaster the park has ever seen. The ride was a simple Wisdom Rides Go-Gator. From what it looks like, there is only one picture of this ride archived on the internet, making it very little known about. The coaster closed in 2004 after declining riders. In 2002, a new roller coaster opened up to replace the wooden Wild Mouse coaster. When this coaster first opened up, it was called Viper, but then later on was renamed to Slytherin. Loudoun Castle purchased the ride off Lightwater Valley and later sold it on to Movieland Park in Italy. The coaster was a Schwarzkopf CityJet Jet 400. The ride featured various drops and turns and an electric spiral lift. The coaster closed in 2004. The ride went into storage for 4 years. In 2003, 2 new coasters opened up at Loudoun Castle to replace Galaxy and Wacky Worm. The ride to replace Galaxy was a Schwarzkopf Silver Arrow coaster called Twist and Shout. The ride was 60 foot tall, went up to speeds of 41 miles per hour and featured one inversion, a loop. The coaster had previously operated at different parks including Camelot and Dreamland. The Wacky Worm roller coaster was replaced by a roller coaster named Wacky Worm. This new coaster was built by IE Park and sat in the same location as the previous Wacky Worm ride. Both coasters survived until the park's closure in 2011. We'll be talking more about that at the end of the video. In 2005, the park installed a new coaster to replace Slytherin. The ride's name was Rat and was a standard Moya Rides Wild Mouse coaster. The coaster had drops of 46 degrees and was 49.3 feet tall. Wild Mouse coasters are known to be quite harsh on your sides when you turn the incredibly tight corners, and for what it looks like, Loudoun Castle's Rat ride didn't fail to deliver this. This ride had a reputation of being painful and rough, but that's what made it fun, right? The coaster had previously operated at Dreamland in Kent and now continues to operate at a park in Germany. The ride was removed to make way for a new coaster, Gold Rush. The last roller coaster ever to be installed at the park was Gold Rush. This ride only operated for one season at the park and replaced the Rat. The ride was a Sierra 4-man bob coaster that had previously operated at some very famous UK theme parks. Some of these include Flamingo Land and Alton Towers. The ride was in storage for 3 years before it arrived at Loudoun Castle. The ride featured many drops and turns but failed to keep the park open for business as it closed the very next year. It was sadly announced that at the end of the 2010 season, Loudoun Castle would not be reopening again for the 2011 season. The theme park left behind one fantastic coaster, one pretty decent coaster, and one not so decent coaster. When the park closed in 2010, Twist and Shout, the Schwarzkopf Silver Arrow, was left standing but not operating for 5 years. But finally, in 2017, it was relocated with a new paint job over to Croatia as Big Blue. You can still ride it there today. When the park closed in 2010, Wacky Worm, the small family coaster, was removed from the premises. It is unknown where exactly the coaster is as of right now, but it is likely the ride goes on the travelling fair circuit. When the park closed in 2010, this ride stood standing but not operating like its brother Twist and Shout. Unlike Twist and Shout, however, this ride was not sold and still stands at Loudoun Castle today.